Art Ultra Noops Nation. My name is Reid Nelson. This is Izzy Alkafas. This is This Week in Rec. How are you?
Good.
I haven't seen you in a couple months.
I know. Dream League, huh?
We'll talk about that later. But not on this episode of This Week in Rec. Okay, last night, Uncle Drew's kids, 2 and 3, fall to the Crusaders, 3 and 1. You wanted to specifically talk about this game. Go ahead.
Uncle Drew's kids kind of coughed that game up at the end. They were up 3. Abdi was dribbling around, got it, I think, to Dwayne. Dwayne dribbled around for a little bit. I think it was Dwayne. Got it back to Abdi. Abdi went to the right wing and then put up a 3, and then Noe fouls him with like 1.2 seconds left. Abdi goes out and makes all 3 free throws, very clutch. A full court heave or a half court heave, almost, pretty good attempt. And then in the overtime, they took the lead and they just held on, right? So Uncle Drew's kids, I think, are now 2 and 3. They added Kyle Ratty. So they got Kyle Ratty, Kevin Chase, Caleb Carlson, Emmanuel, Sam Hansen. I'm missing another big, and I apologize. But they got 5 guys that are probably 6'3 plus. They're huge. And then they have Noe. Noe's their only small. Everybody else is monstrous. That only works if there's 4 blocks on a basketball court. There are, but they're on the other side, right? So you got 2 and 2. There is a draw to having a big team, but as you saw tonight with Menace Fob, that's not what matters. It's in a league like this, it's got to be hustle. The advantage that you have on offense is the disadvantage that you have on defense with having such a large team, because those big guys tend to not have an easy time chasing around those guards. So big win by the Crusaders. They added Twan, Abdi, and another guy. Twan and Abdi were their big additions. I'm missing one more person. But definitely a team that's taken the next step, picked up a couple free agents. Twan quit on Big Smash.
Is there a team Twan has not played for? Seriously.
Well, this season, I think he's played for like 8 teams.
But, he hasn't played for Fob 5.
No, he doesn't fit the system.
He hasn't played for the Rebels.
There has been nobody that is not, I won't even say black, nobody that is not white has ever graced the court with a Rebels jersey.
I knew that was coming. Did I hear that in a dream, or did somebody say that to me? That's true?
Joe Neuenfeld is closet, only likes white people.
So no minorities have ever played for the Rebels.
Joe does not believe in minorities.
How many games played have the Rebels had in what, 20 seasons?
Probably, yeah. I'd say probably, yeah, maybe 20.
20 seasons, 10 games average. That's 200 games at about 7 guys each. That's 1,400 games played.
And all milky white skin on the court.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are we sure that's true?
I'm 100% positive. 100%.
Okay. I'm okay with 100%. Okay. So 1 seed loses. 2 seed loses. Not 1 seed. 1 ranked loses. Gorillas lose to Shockers. 2 seed loses. Or 2 second ranked team loses. Muskies lose to Squires. You were at the Gorillas game.
I was.
I checked the box score. You guys were full strength. You lost by like 15. 14?
Yes, 14. Jake absolutely annihilated us in transition. We could not stop him in transition. Our effort was we gave up 48 points in the first half, and that's typically like our last 3-4 minutes the game's at 48 points. So our defense, our intensity just wasn't there. To be honest, I think we didn't really take the Shockers seriously. Very egotistical on our part, and they stomped on us. Ethan's phenomenal. Jake is phenomenal. And then those 2 guys, Zhao wasn't there. Here's the thing. Zhao actually makes it easier on the Gorillas because Zhao takes the ball out of Jake's hands, and Jake is probably the most efficient scorer in this league.
Okay.
So that hurts a little bit. They're a sneaky good team if teams keep sleeping on them. They can make a run.
I did the Green Arrow Barracudas game tonight. I believe Chris Maher had like 11 rebounds in like the first 7 minutes. I think he ended with, I think, 23 rebounds, and I want to say he had 18 or 19 or 20 points. I mean, he was just destroying people out there. And I just wanted to add that because he's just, I mean, he's number one PPR right now in Fridley. It's not going to stop. He's carrying that squad. It'll be, but then again, I don't know his name, number 2. He's just, he was 6 for 8 at one point from the 3-point line tonight. Short guy, number 2, Zach. Is his name Zach? Sorry, he's a new player. Number 2, he was 6 for 8, and then he missed, I think, 3 and went 6 for 11. But he was just, they were insane from the arc. So it wasn't just Chris. It was a lot of other guys. Okay, Lights Out loses to the ball busters / free ballers. Whatever. Do you know that's going to be on a banner here? Free ballers?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we somehow...
Yeah, you let that slide. Nice job.
Yeah.
Dream League, right?
I don't know.
You should have had that as a Dream League team.
Yeah. Free ballers.
Or hold on, what was Pinkett's team's stupid ass name? It was the one with
Off Constantly.
Off Constantly. What a dumb name. You should.
The jerseys, though, man.
That should have been a jersey for the Dream League. A hand with a bunch of lube on it.
No. Okay. I just about said Off Constantly. I totally lost my train of thought. Lights Out lose to free ballers. What say you?
The Lights Out started in a 15-0 deficit, came all the way back to tie it up. They sit Calvin down. He was kind of like their engine that got everything going, really got under the skin of the free ballers. They pull Calvin out, insert Josh Hansen, who had a miserable game, and then they go on then the free ballers go on like 7-0 run and extend the lead. Then Twan and Calvin got at it at the end of the game, and I'm actually going to side with Calvin on this. Calvin is trying to keep things positive, and Calvin Bella is trying to keep things positive. Hey, we played good defense, just trying to get his team focused on the next game. And Twan was like, that team sucks. We're so much better than them. He's embarrassed that he lost, and that's just not how you go about it. You just kind of move on. It's like, don't get mad at your team. You handpicked all your guys. You've been running with them for all these. You get rid of them then. If you don't like your team, start cutting bait. Hurt some feelings, but you got to do it.
Has Twan played with the Barracudas?
No.
But Glenn did, didn't he? Didn't he play one game with the Barracudas?
I think that was a rumor. I don't think he ever showed up.
Okay, so Barracudas, Rebels, and Fab Five so far. That's 3. You wanted to talk a little bit about Mr. Tony DeBoer. He's not having a great shooting season.
Yeah, he is, I think, 13 for 85 from deep. He's taken 85 threes.
Just this season? 10 games?
In 9 games. 4 and 5, I think. So in 9 games, he's taken 85 threes, just about 10 a game, and he's made 13 total.
He has to know that, right? Or
so he's averaging, out of those 10 threes, he's averaging roughly 1.3 makes per game. I think he's shooting 12% in Bloomington and 18% in Fridley. At some point, it has to stop. Because here's the thing. Tony is a phenomenal shooter, but he's got to stop. He's forcing every shot. Like, it's contested. It's falling away. When you're not in a rhythm and when you're not comfortable, you can't just force up contested threes. So I think he's got to reset. His teams are combined 2 and 7. Let's reset. Pick your spots. It's okay if you take 3 or 4 threes and just grind out on defense until you get warm, but you cannot shoot your team out of the games. And once he's hot, him and Jake and Mike Wiskus are probably the 3 hottest shooters that we have in this league, and Zhao. But he's got to find his rhythm, and he can't force it.
Bulls.
Dysfunctional. Stephen Kelsey is a firecracker. The guy can turn a game around by himself. He can turn defense and offense snap of a finger. The issue is when you have Mike Wiskus and you put up 23 shots and Mike Wiskus puts up 2, you are never going to win a basketball game. And they got stomped tonight. So that's Stephen Kelsey is probably a top 10 dynamic player in rec, but he's got to, I don't know how to explain it. He's just too erratic with his play. He's got to contain all that and focus that energy positively and get guys open. 23 shots to 2 is a recipe for disaster. Would you agree?
Well, if Mike Wiskus is on the 23 end, I'd take that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if Wiskus on the 23 end, you're getting 50% of those are going in at worst. You know what I mean? But yeah, why have a guy like Mike Wiskus? Like, here's the question to Mike: why would Mike ever leave Bob 5, who spent the entire time trying to get him open, to leave the Fob 5 and watch other people put up 20-plus shots? Teach their own.
Okay, so let's transition. A good friend of ours, 298 games played so far, will be leaving us in a couple of weeks. Junius Ho, teammate of yours, Gold Cup champion with you. You've now won 3 Gold Cups, 1 with Junius, correct?
Yep, 1 with Junius.
Let's talk a little bit about Junius, but first, let's let him do a little bit of talking. So this was myself and Junius earlier this evening. Ardell Noops Nation, I'm here with Junius Ho. Junius Ho is departing for the West Coast. You just told me that your last game will be your 300th game. So you're on the 300 club. Not very many people are in the 300 club. So let's start out the conversation. Earliest/favorite earliest memory from Ultimate Noob. So go back a couple years. What's your favorite memory from back in the day?
Well, this is for all the people that have been struggling in Ultimate Hoops. My early memories of UH are actually a lot of 1-7 seasons. My first season actually was as a free agent at Target Center. We were 1-5 because we didn't even get to play a bunch of the games because there was 2 forfeits, and Jimmy Niley, who was the coordinator at the time, just kept giving me all these Wolves tickets because he felt bad because I was really into the league and I'd been waiting my whole life to play in something like this. But after those 1-7 teams, I think my earliest favorite memory was when Izzy came over and asked to join FOB. And we ended up playing together, and then that season that Eway joined, and we were a 15 seed and went all the way to the Final Four. That Izzy made first team, Eway made first team, and after being kind of a laughing stock, a 1-7 team with a funny name and just interesting personalities, it was awesome to build something organically, like you always talk about, and getting to that fun. Sure, we got smacked down by the Turtles, but all I remember is we're here and we're going to be able to do something.
And then you guys won the Gold Cup the following season, correct?
I think it was either the following season or the one after that, but essentially that was such a humbling experience that part of our DNA is say, look, put personalities aside and the competitive aspect of wanting to win a championship and sacrificing personal point scoring, stats, whatever it is, playing time to make it happen. And that was notorious, that rift between Izzy and Ferber. And we put that aside for a season and made some magic happen. And I remember the last game when we played the Avengers, we played like 2 minutes, but I was as happy as could be. Fell asleep with the Gold Cup that night. And just beautiful, beautiful memories.
I was just going to say, what's your favorite memory from that particular season? But I think you may have said falling asleep with the Gold Cup. Maybe was it?
No, I think the best was just that entire that whole day. I sent out the email about who wants it more, and it was so great because these guys are generally pretty quiet. I sent out these pretty comprehensive, not Joe Neuenfeld comprehensive, but pretty comprehensive scouting reports before each game, and they barely ever say anything about it. And sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. When we do it, generally we win. But that night, everyone was just so amped about it, and we just came out of the gates and put it away within the first 10 minutes. And I just think having that vision, executing on it, and everybody buying in, it's such a beautiful thing. The sum of the parts kind of Spurs Popovich type.
The Fob 5 name originated where?
My friend Peter Ree from college, back in the height of the Fab Five days, we had an all-Asian basketball team, and he came up with a brilliant name, Fob Five. And in the spirit of progressive and inclusivity, we have hence expanded beyond Fob. I'm not even a Fob. I was born in the States, so I do not even qualify. But it's this sort of mystique and organization more than the literal meaning now.
Is the name going to California with you?
It'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. I think I've left Fob in good hands with Casey and Izzy, and Briggs signed up, and he'll be part of the playoff run. And those guys are great, and we have committed guys. So maybe we'll have two teams.
You get to win tonight. You move to 2-3. Do you feel as though there's gonna be some added want from your players to win this last Gold Cup, even though you won't be around? Or better yet, would you fly back for the Gold Cup championship game, a la Kevin, a la Joe Neuenfeld? Yeah, that period.
I would love to. However, I think this year I wouldn't be able to because I'll actually be in Taiwan getting married.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Otherwise, I really would, because that would be awesome. And I wouldn't even necessarily have to play because I don't want to mess up the chemistry. But it's just if either Fob or the Muskies get all the way, I totally understand why Joe did it.
Sorry, honey. But the whole wedding thing, we're going to do that another time. Okay, so I guess tying a bow on it, what is the thing you will miss the most?
Ultimate Hoops, you come for the competition and you really stay for the camaraderie. I'm going to miss the people more than anything. Love me, hate me. It's pretty polarizing, and I understand that. I remember distinctly one time we were playing them, and
Devin, Quentin.
Devin, not Dustin. Devin said something to me after we got kind of tangled up. He said, "Why are you such a nice guy off the court, but such an a-hole on it?" And that stuck with me because it was one of these things where I never really talked to Devin, and seemed like a good kid, and he obviously had respect for me off the court, but was really annoyed by me on the court. And it's definitely intentional, and sometimes it seems mean-spirited, but honestly, it's just a competition aspect.
Sure.
And it's just hard to turn off. I was sort of born and raised in a different era, I think. And you see a couple of the old school guys, and I apologize for anyone that has been significantly hurt emotionally, but honestly, just you got to man up a little bit.
Whenever anybody says "let's go" in response to you, I'm like, well, he got there to their head. I'm like, that's exactly what he's trying to do. Don't do it back.
Do not engage.
So it's like, you won then. It's like they think that they won, but no, he won. Because when that shot goes up, that's what they're thinking. If it doesn't fall, then they're like, crap, I can't do it.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. 300 games will be next week or the week after.
2 weeks.
Speaking of Calvin, I mean,
Yeah.
I would swear that you guys literally hate each other, not dislike, hate. And he's just giving you some friendly.
That's the whole thing, is that people don't see after the locker room from 10 to 11. Calvin and I will sit there and talk about philosophy, life, work, and just with a lot of other people as well. Just if you hang out, and the let's go leaves as soon as I'm off the baseline.
Sure.
And I think that's the beautiful part of it. And that's, Alan has created something that you guys have nurtured. You have done so much for it, and I thank you for all the airtime that I've gotten. It's been fun, and from the message boards before you got here with Danny Okama and Art going at it, and then Hot Tub coming in with his caps yelling at everybody to, oh my God, after they got the message boards away, this Ultimate Hoops is going to die. It's just so fatalistic. It's hilarious, these guys, the perspective that you have after 3 years, and I'm going to miss it a lot. I'll be back for State Fair, so during those times, I'll definitely come check people out.
You've never turned down an interview, and for that, I thank you. So appreciate it, Junius.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Good luck. Thank you. That was Junius. I'm certainly going to miss him. there's not many characters as unique as Junius, where you can literally say, I hate that guy on the court. But then immediately after the game, you're like, hey, man, it's cool, and you're actually friends with him. And it's just weird, but I love it. So talk a little bit about Junius Ho, as broad as that is. Not as a player, but as a personality.
Eccentric, flamboyant, abrasive. He's entertainment. Period. You watch Fob 5, and you watch Fob 5 to watch Junius do his thing. People on the sidelines are waiting for the let's go. It turns into a must-see games every time Junius steps on the court. And when Junius isn't here for Fob 5, it's a completely different atmosphere because I'm just not that guy. People hate me on the court. Maybe not as much as they hate Junius, but out of everybody in this league, him and I are probably the two most hated guys, and we're on the same team. So I think across the board, we're probably the entire league's least favorite team to have win because of us two, is my guess. Junius leaving will, without a doubt, decrease the excitement in Fridley. Absolutely. Because we're going to retire Fob 5. I mean, if he's gone, we're not continuing that name. It's going to be different. And it's a tough loss. I love having Junius on my teams. Love playing with him. He gets everybody amped. He's positive for the league, despite everybody hating his guts. And you said that people, kind of are friends with him afterwards. I don't think that's true for a lot of people. I think Junius has his friends. For instance, for me personally, the person I get into it most on the court is Helmy.
Yeah,
I
noticed that too.
Yeah. But him and I are best friends. That's his thing. With Junius, he gets into it with people that are not his friends, and that's why they're not his friends and why they don't like him. But that's what Ultimate Hoops likes. I mean, you guys want the Allen, I'm sure, just drools over this kind of stuff, and you do too.
It's personalities. That's absolutely.
Yeah. So good memories, a lot of great games. I mean, I've played a lot of seasons on Fob 5. They kickstarted my kind of for that first season I played with them. They just kind of basically set me up the whole time. I was the guy for them, and we were able to develop kind of a reputation, and then after that, we started picking up good players, and we're able to put together a good. We kind of did it organically in a sense where Junius started the team, horrible team, brought me and somebody else on.
Respectfully,
we made the playoffs and had a huge upset, and that huge upset against the Celtics that first season is why we have a championship. And a lot of credit goes to Junius for really allowing kind of me, in a sense, to be like, hey, put the teams together. I'll run the show. Just pick up the free agents, and then we'll go from there. And we've had a pretty successful franchise, I think, for the last 3 years.
That was the Izzy serious years. Remember that?
Yeah,
like 8 points in like 26 seconds or something. I think we could find that video somewhere.
Yeah. I think
from late 2012.
Yeah.
So you kind of talked. You kind of stole all my questions. What are you going to miss about him? Are you retiring Fob 5? I don't know what else to say. It's he's never turned down an interview, and not many people do. But sometimes a lot of the times I can only do so much on holding the mic. The interviewee has to be able to give it back, and he always did. No matter what, dig out some of the old Junius Ho interviews. In fact, I'm going to see if I can find some from this time that you guys beat the Celtics, time you lost to the Rebels, because I think I interviewed him after that game when Jansen hit that runner with the broken hand. I feel like I interviewed him, so I'm going to see if I can dig that out. If I did, I'll pull it up. I'll put it on here. If not, no big deal. So, it sucks. It sucks that he's gone, and I hope somebody takes over that villain role. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. Nobody can match that. And we lost 50% of our Asian demographic in the league. I think we're down to Jerry Sakanovan, which was name you love.
I love Sakanovan. Love that name.
We don't have any other agents left, right?
I should know this.
Why should you know this?
Because
Do you have, like, the statistics. Hold on.
Well, let's go. Rebels, zero agents.
We know that. We know that.
Big Smash, zero agents.
Oh, Zhao. So 33%.
So 33%.
Zhao's definitely. Are you going to ask me if he was Asian?
If I was going to ask you if Zhao was Asian?
Sounded like you were about to tee up. Was Zhao Asian?
Oh, yeah, I was not going to ask you if Zhao was Asian.
Yes.
John Cole, he's not a player.
He's not a player. But yeah, down 33%. It's a big loss for the Asian population.
We'll be seeing a lot more of John Cole soon.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. Their Dream League.
I didn't say it, he did.
Yeah. So, how are we going to send him off? Are we?
Well, you guys are going to win a championship. That's how you're going to send him off. I told him that he's going to have to fly back from Taiwan, delay the wedding, and for the Gold Cup championship. Honey, sorry.
If Fob 5 wins a championship this season, that'll be the biggest upset in rec history.
Who's the early favorite? I know this is our first episode this season. We're going to continue through the end of the season. Look at how we transitioned over to the left-hand side. I love that. Who's a favorite? And then we're going to end this episode. We'll be back next week.
Rebels look good. Gorillas will be in there. The Muskies can play. Shocker's got an outside shot. I would say that there's 5 free ballers. So here's the thing with the free ballers. The free ballers will have this season. It seems like every time a team wins a championship for the first time, they have a huge setback. Mm-hmm. That next season, they really struggle to kind of get that energy and get the passion, the fire. So I'm going to say that they're not going to really compete. I don't think there's anybody in Fridley that a Bloomington team would look at and be like, that team scares me.
Okay.
So I think without a doubt, Bloomington will have the championship this season, and I will say that my guess is it will be 4 teams in the Final Four, all from Bloomington.
Gorillas, Muskies, Rebels.
Depending on if we're doing the new format, it probably won't be that because there's going to be some manipulating of that bracket.
That'll be fun. All right, This Week in Rec. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, Junius, and safe travels to California and to Taiwan. We'll miss you, and see you guys next week.